Once again, thank you for joining us. During today's session, I'd like to inform you that we will be presenting in English. We also have simultaneous translation in Spanish. To listen to this presentation in English or in Spanish, please click on the globe icon at the bottom of the screen. You will select the language of preference for you. You will engage and listen to the presentation in the language you select. Una vez más, muchas gracias por conectar hoy con nosotros. Quería informarles que durante nuestra sesión tendremos interpretación simultánea en español. Esta sesión se presentará en inglés. Usted puede escoger el lenguaje de su preferencia. Haga clic en el símbolo del mundo en la parte inferior de su pantalla. Seleccione el idioma que le gustaría escuchar. Participará y escuchará la presentación en el idioma que seleccione. Next. For today's presentation, we will all be participating in this Zoom webinar session. During the presentation, you can ask questions of our panelists. We will also have a short Q&A as time permits at the end of the session. If you look at the bottom of your screen, there is a Q&A icon. You can pose your questions there and then wait for an answer. Again, we will also be responding to some of the questions as time permits at the end of the session.
Good evening, MacArthur Park community. Thank you for joining us this evening. On behalf of our superintendent, Local District Central Superintendent, home of the champions, Superintendent Francis Baez, I welcome you and I thank you for joining us this evening. Unfortunately, due to a conflict, Ms. Baez will not be with us this evening, but she sends her warm regard and thank you for joining us. And we hope that the information shared tonight will provide insight and answer some of the questions that you have had. Next slide. Also, our board member, our amazing, hardworking, advocating for all of our constituents and people in our community, Ms. Board Member Monica Garcia, will not be with us, but she is with us in spirit as she wants you to continue to breathe and continue to support our schools and our community. Thank you, Board Member Monica Garcia, for all that you do for the MacArthur Park communities of schools, as well as Board District 2 in our community. Next slide. And I am the Communities of School Administrator, Charles D. Smith, representing the MacArthur Park communities of the schools. And good evening and welcome to our May Town Hall meeting. First, I would like to take a moment to thank you and congratulate you for the work you have done this year as we are in the final stretch of our school year. And what an amazing ride and journey it has been. Also, I wanted to remind you to please continue to use your best judgment based on science to keep our school community as safe as we continue to make forward steps towards COVID recovery. As you know, the month of May is filled with appreciations and celebrations as we honored our principals, our administrators, our teachers, nurses, classified staffs for the individual and collective commitment to the MacArthur Park communities of schools. Additionally, we had the opportunity to support our local district superintendent, Ms. Francis Baez, as she was named Superintendent of the Year by the Association of California School Administrators, Region 16. Congratulations, Superintendent Baez, on a job well done and all of the hard work for our students and families. I would like to take an opportunity to also publicly thank Ms. Terry Lowe and her students at John Lathy Middle School for creating a beautiful piece on campus to represent our community of learners at the local District Central's Hearts of Champions Art Festival, which was held on May 7th at Maya Angelou High School. Also, thank you to all of our schools who submitted art, including Lake Street Primary Center, Lafayette Primary Center, 10th Street Elementary School, Charles White Elementary School, Commonwealth Elementary, and the School for Social Justice. Also this month, my team and I supported most of our schools by visiting their classroom and observing in-person teaching and learning and reviewing their data goals. Please know, our teachers and school teams are working strategically to accelerate learning for students. I am truly appreciative of the work of all of our educators, and I look forward to our students showcasing their learning on the 2022 Smarter Balance Assessment. As we begin to close the school year, I ask of each of you to continue to be reflective and share your feedback with our school leaders, because we are already preparing for 2022-23 school year, which officially begins on Monday, August 15th, 2022. As you know, this calendar is unique as it includes 4 strategically placed days of support and intervention and acceleration. Lastly, I would like to take a moment to congratulate the graduating and culminating class of 2022, and I wish you all the best as you begin this next chapter. Next slide. Tonight's agenda, we will have 3 schools presentations, and you will hear from 2 early ed centers, Bill Cruz EEC and Gratz EEC, and 1 elementary school, Gratz Learning Academy for Young Scholars, where the principals will introduce you to their school and share some important highlights. Then we will share some information about our instructional updates, operational updates, and as it is Mental Health and Awareness Month, our very own Ms. Gisela Gutierrez, our school mental health consultant, will provide you with some tools to assist you and your family. Next slide. This month, board member Monica Garcia hosted a special celebratory event at our high school, Miguel Contreras Learning Complex, where more than 80 women throughout Board District 2 were nominated for their contributions towards improving children's lives, for their countless hours of investment, and for increasing opportunities for kids. Ms. Garcia's mother, Guillermina Corrales Garcia, is the namesake for these awards. She, like so many amazing women in our community, inspire us each and every day. They are mujeres campeonas who love their children and advocate for them to believe in themselves, have access to quality education, and confidence to pursue their dreams. Please join me in congratulating one of our very own parent representatives from Los Angeles School for Global Studies at Miguel Contreras, Ms. Leslie Garcia, who was honored for that event. Now, join me for a brief video that highlights the awards.
We are at the Miguel Contreras campus celebrating the 13th annual Guillermina Awards Mujer Campeona.
We're very proud to be here. We're very proud to host this event. It's exciting to be here, and we celebrate and congratulate all of the recipients of this wonderful award.
So we give honor where it is due. And I think it's very important and very valuable that everybody comes to celebrate Mujeres Campeona.
It's my first time, and I love it. No, I love it because we can show out how we work hard and how we can help the community.
Thank you for that. And also, you know that May, as I mentioned earlier, was Teacher Appreciation Month. And I would like to personally thank everyone who made contributions and shared. Just want to take a moment to thank you for just honoring our educators for the work they have done each and every day. Thank you for the many tokens of gratitude, appreciation, love that you shared our educators. So thank you. And here is a small glimpse of some of the celebration which occurred within our school community. Next slide. May is busy. Yes, it is. May also marks Asian Pacific Islander Heritage Month, where we recognize specific contributions and influence of Asian Americans and Pacific Islander Americans to the history, culture, and achievement of the United States. Next slide. Local District Central hosted, for that reason, Local District Central developed a series of dialogue Zoom meetings to share perspectives with the next and last event scheduled for Monday, May 23rd at 5 p.m. Please tune in and join us. There's been 3 amazing, exciting Zoom meetings that occurred, and 1 more is left next Monday. So if you haven't tuned in, please do so. Next slide. Because special guests include Professor Dr. Russell Jian of San Francisco University, Ms. Haypen M., founder and president of Faith Empowerment, and Dennis Aguiles of National Park Conservation Association. Also, educators Glenn Katayama, Iku Kiriyama, and Bruce MD of Mizar Pilgrimage. Next slide. Well, again, thank you for joining us. And now I would like to invite the amazing, hardworking principal of Gratz Early Education Center, Ms. Kathy Romo. Ms. Romo, will you please join us? The floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to say thank you for all being a part of our community of schools, and I'm excited to share with you our amazing Early Education Center. Next slide. As you see, this is our logo, Gratz STEAM Early Education. We are a STEAM accredited school, so I'm excited to share about our school and what we do in early ed. Next slide. So I'm going to start off by reading our mission and our vision. So our mission is to provide a safe, stimulating, and developmentally appropriate learning environment. We will treat children as individuals and meet their intellectual and emotional needs to become independent thinkers in order to help them find solutions for themselves and develop leadership skills. Our vision at Gratz STEAM Early Ed Center is that every student is prepared to take their experiences learned, be able to transition to K-12 successfully, and incorporate STEAM concepts that will provide students the skills and confidence to be lifelong learners. Next slide. So I want to start off by sharing what we do at Gratz Early Ed and what we offer. We are a STEAM accredited school, STEAM standing for science, technology, engineer, art, and math. We also have a dual language program that we are certified, where we offer students the opportunity to get both languages in English and Spanish. We also provide a QSLA program called The Quality Starts in Los Angeles. This is a program that offers opportunity for our schools to be successful, for our students to be in a safe and healthy environment, and also for all our educators to get all of the needs, tools, trainings provided, and funding to put into our school to be a bigger and better school for success. We also have data assessments, which is our ASQs. They are ASQ 3, which is the developmental of the children's learning development, and ASQ SE for their social emotional. When a student arrives at our school, the first thing we do is we assess them to see where there are areas of needs and what we could do to provide support. We also have a tool called the Desire Results, which are measures and domains to help us support in how the students are learning and how they're developing throughout the school year. We also provide tools called the Creative Curriculum, Learning Preschool Foundations, and Stanford Harmony, which is a social emotional piece. Next slide. So here you see is called the creative curriculum. This is one of the core creative curriculums that we use throughout our school year, and we start from the beginning stages of clothes study. They talk about their clothes, their culture, what they're wearing, why we wear what we wear. We talk about the tree study when we get into the environment, all the different types of trees they are, our nature, our exploring. We go through reduce, reuse, and recycle study, where the students have the opportunity to really dig in deep to bring in things from home and circulate through the environment, how we use our materials at school and at home. We also have a building study. We talk about the communities. We talk about jobs, stores, markets, businesses, community, police. It goes on, and we dig into these studies, and we usually last between, I would say, a good 4 to 6 weeks. And then we end it at the end of the year with our ball study. Next slide. And then we also really drive into our data. Our data is like the key tool that we use to make sure that we are getting all of the things that we need to do to support our community, our parents, our children. And we call that the DRDP. And we do parent surveys, we do environmental scales, and we also do an ECHRS. Next slide. Now, this is some of our results. So what we do is we go into our key findings and we look at the data. We want to see where our students are at in the beginning, middle, and end. And basically, we want to see if they're developing. So we go off of different percentages from their social emotional development, to their language literacy, to their cognition math skills, and to their English language development. Some of our cores that we use for this school year is our ELD, which is our expressive language. And also we use our ELD2, which is the English language development, and our math. That's the focus that we're using to build our students. And as we know, math is everywhere in the language. Next slide. We also talked about our ECHRS. There's a score of a 5. 5 being the highest. We're very fortunate to announce that we were a 4.9, and our action plan moving forward is to continue to build to a 5. And again, we take the next steps to what we can do, how we could improve, and what we could do to make our school really be successful. Next slide. And then we get into our parent surveys. We do care about what our parents, what the needs are, what they would like. It's so important to know how satisfied are they? Are they dissatisfied? Are they very satisfied? And how could we support that? Happy to say we reached at 96% of parents being satisfied for the overall quality of our program. And then we have 80% as well of very satisfied for the interactions between staff and children. And then it goes on to our action plan, our next steps. What does that look like for our parents? And as we know, we've been in this pandemic where a lot of our students cannot come onto campus. So they would like to see more of that engaging greeting and dismissal. And hopefully our goal for next school year is to be able to allow those families opportunity to come onto school grounds and see their students' classrooms. Next slide. Thank you so much.
Thank you to Principal Romo. Thank you for sharing your school with us all this evening, and I appreciate your presence today. At this time, I'm going to welcome another one of our amazing principals, the principal of Gratz Learning Academy for Young Scholars. She's with us this evening to share a little bit about the amazing happenings at Gratz Learning Academy for Young Scholar, GLAZE. Principal Galliano, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. Good evening, and I apologize in advance. I started feeling a little sick this morning, but I hope it doesn't stop me from letting you know a little bit about our wonderful school, Gratz Learning Academy for Young Scholars. Next slide. Gratz Learning Academy is located near MacArthur Park. Right now, at this moment, I would like for you to see a video, so let's go ahead and take a look at the slide. Next slide, please.
Thank you. Okay, boys and girls, give me an A. A. Give me a V. V. Give me an I. I. Give me a D. D. What does that spell? Avid student. And what does it mean to be an avid student? That's right. You move it through your own hard work. And where are we trying to go? That's right. That is our goal. That is our final goal.
importante de ser bilingüe es que nuestro cerebro se hace más fuerte. La razón por qué se hace más fuerte es porque una niña o un niño que está aprendiendo 2 idiomas tiene que usar las 2 partes de su cerebro.
Thank you. I wanted to highlight some of the programs that we currently offer at Gratz Learning Academy. Now, let me tell you a little bit about each of them. First one, who are we? Gratz Learning Academy for Young Scholars is a grade K through 5 pilot elementary school located near the MacArthur Park area. The school opened its doors in 1996 and officially became a pilot school in 2010. We're a Title I school who currently services 364 students. Of those 364 students, 88.2% are Hispanic Latino, 8.5 are Black, 1.4 are white, 0.5% are Asian, 0.5 are Filipino, and 0.9 are other. Next slide. Here at GLADS, we are AVID. AVID Elementary first started at our site as a 6th grade comprehensive program. In 2017-2018, we began the work of expanding to 5th grade and consecutively to 4th grade. In 2020, when we officially became a K through 5 school, we were the first AVID Elementary in the district. AVID Elementary teachers teach and reinforce academic behaviors and higher level thinking at a young age. AVID Elementary teachers create a ripple effect in later grades. Elementary students develop the academic habits they will need to be successful all through college. Children learn about organization, study skills, communication, and self-advocacy. Next slide. Here at Glaze, we are dual, currently offering dual one-way immersion in Spanish in grades kindergarten, 1st grade, 3rd grade, and 2 classes in 4th grade. Next year, we will have a 2-way immersion in Spanish in kindergarten. All the other grades, 1 through 5, will be what we called a dual one-way immersion. Next slide. With the support of our primary promise teachers in both ELA and math, as well as our intervention coordinator, we support our students with Tier 2 and Tier 3 interventions that are aligned to the specific student needs based on DIBELS and Edulastic data. Next slide. So I just want to have you keep this in mind. At Gratz Learning Academy, we're AVID, we're dual, and we're here to serve. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Principal Galliano. Such dedication and commitment. Ms. Galliano is here with us, and she is not feeling the best this evening. So we commend you and we thank you. We understand, and we thank you for continuing to push through for our babies and our kids, and just because it's from the heart. So I really appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Get some rest, and have a good night. Next, we're going to bring our last school for this evening, Miss Eugenia Mbata, who's the principal of Bill Cruz Early Education Center. Miss Mbata, please join us. The floor is yours.
Next slide. Yeah, we are located at 1020 Valencia Street, Los Angeles, California, 90015. Like Dr. Smith mentioned, my name is Eugenia Mbata. I'm the proud principal of Bill Cruz Early Education Center. I appreciate the opportunity given to me to highlight our program, especially now that we are entering our enrollment period. Looking at my background, you will see the caption, "Success begins here." In recent interview on how Early Education Division is aligning with Superintendent Cavallo's 100-day plan, he said to our Executive Director, Dr. Dean Tagawa, that you are responsible for graduation rates. This is exemplified in our early education mission, which is kindergarten readiness. Next slide. So our goal at BioCruz, students will understand and expand their understanding of numbers and quantities in their everyday environment, communicate using expressive language, build relationships and social interactions with peers and familiar adults. That's our expectation of our students as they graduate, going to kindergarten. Next slide. So our operation time and meals, we operate 7 a.m. to 5:30 every day, Monday through Friday. And our meal offerings, we provide breakfast, lunch, and snack to our students. Next slide. So creative curriculum objectives. Our Early Education Center uses the creative curriculum to teach children different concepts as we prepare them for kindergarten, which is our main goal. Using all these beautiful books that support both the staff in teaching our students. Next slide. When we teach, we assess. So our rating instruments and assessment, we use the ASQ, which is Ages and Stages Questionnaire. This is a diagnostic test that happens 45 days after enrollment to troubleshoot and see if there is anything that needs to be, taken care of as we work with our children. We also go further to use the ASQ social emotional. We do the DRDP, Desired Result Developmental Profile. This is basically observational assessment scale. And ACAS, which is Environmental Rating Scale, how we use this to support our children and their staff, anchoring our classroom to map out the space and the materials the kids need in order to excel. Next slide. We have our data from DLDP. For clarity, we have the group reports, but for clarity, I'm using the child progress reports. So this shows us how the children progress in the developmental continuum. So looking at this data in front of us here now, in this fall of 2021, this child is at building later. So we targeted instruction and meeting up with the needs of this child and intentional teaching, this child was able to progress to move to the next developmental level, which is integrating earlier, looking at the legend. Next slide. So we have at BioCruz, we are rated at tier 4. So what does this mean? We'll find out soon. Next slide. So what does this mean to our early ed centers? Quality Start Los Angeles is part of a nationwide movement to set standards that define quality for early childhood education. They assess and rate programs using standards for quality care and education. All programs under this meet licensing requirements. The score above validates our program and what we stand for in terms of providing quality care and education for our students and their families. Next slide. Here I have a day in a child's life at BioCruz. I want you to see how our students learn while having fun.
May you have auspiciousness and causes of success. May you have the confidence to always do your best. May you take no effort in your being generous, sharing what you can, nothing more, nothing less. May you know the meaning of the word happiness. May you always lead from the beating in your chest. May you be treated like an esteemed guest. May you get to rest, may you catch your breath. May the best of your todays be the worst of your tomorrows. Whoa. May the road less paved be the road that you follow. Oh. Well, here's to the hearts that you're gonna break. Here's to the lives that you're gonna change. Here's to the infinite possible ways to love you. I want you to have it. Here's to the good times we're gonna have. You don't need money, you got a free pass. Here's to the fact that I'll be sad without you. I want you to have it all. I want you to have it all. I want you to have it. I want you to have it all. May you be as fascinating as a slap bracelet. May you keep the chaos and the clutter off your desk. May you get a gold star on your next test. May your educated guesses always be correct. And may you win prizes shining like diamonds. May you really own it each moment to the next. May the best of your todays be the worst of your tomorrows. Whoa. May the road less paved be the road that you follow. Oh. Well, here's to the hearts that you're gonna break. Here's to the lives that you're gonna change. Here's to the infinite possible ways to love you. I want you to have it. Here's to the good times we're gonna have. You don't need money, you got a free pass. Here's to the fact that I'll be sad without you. I want you to have it all. I want you to have it all. I want you to have it. I want you to have it all. Oh, I want you to have it all. All you can imagine. Oh, no matter what your path is, if you believe it, then anything can happen. Go, go, go. Raise your glasses. Go, go, go. You can have it all. I toast you. Here's to the hearts that you're gonna break. Here's to the lives that you're gonna change. Here's to the infinite possible ways to love you. I want you to have it. Here's to the good times we're gonna have. You don't need money, you got a free pass. Here's to the fact that I'll be sad without you. I want you to have it all. I want you to have it all. I want you to have it. I want you to have it all. I want you to have it. Here's to the good times we're gonna have.
Next slide. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Ms. Mbata, for joining us. Thank you for highlighting your school. Oh my God, it warms my heart to see the little ones. Thank you. They're having such a good time with play and learning all at the same time. You're doing an amazing job over at Cruz, and I love visiting your classroom. So thank you for being with us this evening. At this time, I would like to welcome one of our partners right in the hub of our community, right at the Miguel Contreras, next slide, I'm sorry. Right in the Miguel Contreras complex on the campus, there is a wellness center that is serving our school communities in a very special way. Please join me in welcome Ms. Maureen Alex Garcia. The floor is yours. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Maureen Garcia. I am a youth educator supervisor with the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health. I am here today to talk about the Wellbeing Center that is available to all students on the Miguel Contreras Learning Complex. So the Wellbeing Center is a drop-in safe space for all students to take a pause in their day or talk to trained health educators on the topics of sexual health, mental health, and substance abuse prevention. If a student is experiencing a particularly stressful day, we know finals are coming up, we will work with the student to identify grounding techniques, for example. If students have questions about healthy relationships or safe sex, we are able to, as trained health educators, we're able to have conversations with students to provide information that they are asking for. As part of the program, we do partner with Planned Parenthood. And what that means is there is a Planned Parenthood clinic on campus. What Planned Parenthood offers complements the information and education we provide. So Planned Parenthood on campus will offer STI testing and treatment. They offer pregnancy testing, and they offer birth control to students. To supplement the education received at the Wellbeing Center, the Planned Parenthood partners also work on providing education for parents. So there are promotoras that can come to the campus to present on 4 different sessions. And one of the sessions is talking to your students about sex, dealing with stress and anxiety, and there are 2 other sessions as well. What we are hoping to ramp up for next semester, next school year, is a peer advocate program. So we would select 12 students per campus, and we train them to essentially be health educators. So we train them on topics, the topics of sexual health, mental health, and substance abuse prevention. So they can carry this information to the other students on their campus. If, for example, students are too shy to come into the Wellbeing Center, they know to go to the peer advocates on campus that they have more contact with and can ask them questions. And the peer advocate would be able to provide information, education, and point them in a direction for support. And lastly, what we offer as part of the Wellbeing Center is a teen call line. So this call line is open only for students on campuses that have wellbeing centers. It is run by a Planned Parenthood, and if the teen call line is a space for students to ask questions they have regarding sexual health, mental health, and substance abuse. The line is run by licensed clinical social workers. So if there's a student that's going through something and they need to talk it out, that's a great space for students to call when the Wellbeing Center is closed, perhaps when they're not on campus and experiencing something. We are open 2 days a week, and the Planned Parenthood clinic is open 1 day a week. So all in all, we are able to provide these services 3 days a week on campus. We will be open for summer school from June 22nd through July 22nd as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you again, Ms. Garcia. And please know any of our students and families at Miguel Contreras Complex, they are on campus and ready to serve. So thank you for being with us this evening. At this time, I would like Ms. Victoria Rodriguez to join us for our instructional update. Ms. Rodriguez, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. Good evening, everyone. Next slide, please. So we want to take a minute to recognize the Miguel Contreras Learning Complex and the McAllister High School campus for recognizing their seniors over this past couple of weeks for all of their decisions that they're making on their plans for next year. Some of our students are going to four-year universities, some are going to community colleges, some are entering trade schools or work training, job training. So again, we want to congratulate all of our seniors for making their decisions and for, following through on the steps that it's going to take for them to make sure those plans happen during the summer and through the fall. Next slide. We have a series of reminders here, again, for each of our grade levels. When it comes to college and career updates, we want to make sure that we are talking to all of our parents, all of our students, starting in our TK all the way through seniors. So seniors, you want to make sure that you're ready for graduation, you're keeping an ear out for the different details that are going to be coming up for senior activities. You also want to make sure that you are checking in with your academic counselor or your educare team member to make sure you're finalizing plans that you have. For our 9th through 11th graders, by now you should have already met with your academic counselor to check on your graduation progress, and you should have plans for summer school if you need to make up classes. If you don't have any specific classes you have to make up, then we definitely want you to look at the summer enrichment opportunities. After these slides, during the summer enrichment presentation, I'll be dropping the link in the chat for the website. There are multiple opportunities for enrichment all throughout the summer. So please make sure you're enrolling in something. And that also goes for our TK through 8th grade students. We want to make sure that we don't suffer from summer melt. So we really encourage you, even if your students don't have to go to summer school, please find some activity for them to participate in during summer. And next slide. We also want to announce our high school graduation dates. They will all be happening the last week of the last week of school in June. So again, parents, make sure that you are watching for the different announcements and the ticket information. Each of the ceremonies will require tickets. We know that the elementary and middle schools will also be having celebrations. Attendance is limited, and some schools are going like on an alphabet system, like A through L in the morning, M through Z in the later morning. So again, just make sure that you're you're looking out for any school announcements if your students are participating in any promotion or culmination ceremonies. And with that, the next slide, I will go ahead and hand it off to Mr. An.
You, Ms. Rodriguez. So I'm actually going to share a couple of important updates along with a couple of summer school updates as well. Next slide. So this year, as Ms. Rodriguez mentioned, summer school is being offered to all of our students of all age groups. In the chat, you will find a link to LAUSD Summer of Learning. Please consider enrolling your child in one of our programs. At this time, let's take a quick look at a video that describes what the summer school program might look like. Please. Okay, go back to the actual website and actually scroll down a little. So as you're scrolling down through, and what you're seeing is the various programs that are offered currently at LAUSD. Like I said, the summer program is available for all ages. And if you scroll down, there are links where you could sign up your child. So please enroll your child in one of our summer programs to receive enrichment programs and or just to learn and be advanced for the next school year and be prepared. Can we go back to the slide deck, please? Okay, next slide, please. The board recently approved 2022 to 2023 instructional calendar. The major change in the upcoming instructional calendar is the concept of acceleration days. So the acceleration days are designed to benefit those who need to cover the most academic ground and will address the critical goals of the board, including literacy, numeracy, and credit recovery to reach proficiency and be prepared for college and career success. Next slide. LAUSD is advocating for SB 830, so please sign the petition for SB 830. This is a state-sponsored bill that will provide additional funding based on total student enrollment. This bill will remedy a long-standing inequity that funds schools based on student attendance. The link to the petition will be posted in the chat. And once again, we support SB 830. Next slide, please. LAUSD is continuing to provide vaccination for all of our students. You can use the QR code found on this flyer to book an appointment. The science is very clear. Vaccinations work. You could also find the link to the flyer on the chat as well. Next slide. This shows current vaccination sites within LAUSD. The one within MacArthur Park Community Schools is MacArthur Park Elementary School, which is located on Grandview and Wilshire. Next slide, please. LAUSD is continuing to provide COVID testing to all of our students and families. The asymptomatic site is at Carver Middle School, and symptomatic site is at Clinton Middle School. Okay, now at this time, I would like to invite Ms. Gisela Gutierrez to go over and present to us school mental health. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and it is a time to prioritize and care for our minds and our hearts. Next slide. So let's define mental health. Mental health includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, feel, and act. It also helps influence how we handle stress, relate to others, and make choices. At different points in our lives or our experiences, they may affect where we are on this continuum. We all have mental health, and it is important as the other areas of your well-being to be taken care of. Next slide. Mental health is commonly confused with mental illness, which is why it is so widely stigmatized or misunderstood. Today, we would like to highlight the difference. Mental illnesses are health conditions that involve changes in your emotional state, your thinking, and behavior. They are associated with marked changes and impairments of your normal functioning in social, work, and/or family activities. If any of these changes last more than 2 weeks, it is highly recommended that you seek professional help. Mental illnesses can be managed and supported with the right treatment and therapeutic support. Next slide. Taking care of our mental health is very doable and an important step in order to take care of our children and students. Self-soothing provides that immediate relief and comfort when experiencing high levels of stress and fatigue. Sometimes, though, these activities may not actually get as stabilizing as we want or creating opportunities for you to move forward. That's where self-care comes in. Self-care supports your growth and groundedness. Certain things may be self-soothing for some and self-care for others. You get to decide. Both are extremely important in balancing demands of our everyday lives and building our resilience. Next slide. Self-care is thrown a lot as a magic bullet to solve all of your problems. Yet the issue comes with the commitment we make to our wellness. Here are some tips to help us overcome some of the barriers that stand in our way. Make it a part of your daily routine. Find a way to engage in those activities that you would like to do, like working out, and make it a mandatory part of your daily structure and your daily schedule. Find a self-care partner. Having someone that can keep you accountable to your self-care can be very helpful. Make your self-care as a part of your ongoing personal development. Again, self-care is about your personal growth. Have realistic and achievable goals. You are worthy of taking care of yourself. Do not make it optional. We don't make it optional to cook or take care of our loved ones. We should not make it an option to take care of ourselves as well. Continue to monitor your parental, caregiver, or educator burnout. Creating that self-awareness will allow you to also better manage your well-being. Focus on what you can control and be flexible. There are things that are beyond you, and that is okay. Just be flexible and go with it so that you can easily adapt. And exchange self-care ideas. We're always able to learn from one another. So make sure you share your self-care goals and plans with others. Next slide. I invite you to take a picture of this slide as it contains information of various resources where you may be able to access mental health support. I will also add my contact information in the chat and the new Employee Assistance Service for Education that has replaced the Employee Assistance Program for LAUSD employees. I will now pass the floor to our Community of Schools Administrator, Dr. Smith.
Thank you, Ms. Gutierrez. I really appreciate all of the information that you share. This is Mental Health Awareness Month. As you know, we need to continue to take care of ourselves, and our mental health is very important. So thank you, and thank you for sharing those valuable tips with our families. At this time, if there are any questions that were unanswered, we will answer any additional questions. I don't see any questions at this time. I thank you all for joining us. Once again, thank you for joining us this evening. I hope that the information shared was valuable. And please check the chat because Ms. Gutierrez did put her contact information there for all of us to see. Okay, next slide. Please know that we are available to stay connected. We have a website, bit.ly there. Our phone number is 213-302-3001. My email is there. We're on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And you can use the little icon there to visit our website. Our website is always up to date and full of detailed information for our families. Please know that we will not have a June town hall meeting in honor of all the amazing graduation and culmination ceremonies from the class of 2022. We know our families are impacted and have a very busy and complex schedule in this time. So please join William at Mr. Estrada. Principal Estrada is offering a resource fair for Union Avenue on Saturday, May 21st at Union Avenue Elementary School from 9 to 12. Please feel free to join them. Also on Saturday, you can visit the Lanterman Local District Center at Lanterman to pick up a device or swap out a device from 9 to 12 as well. So thank you again for joining us. We hope that the information was valuable. Next slide. If you need to contact any one of our team members, their personal contact information is here as well. Oh, it's not here anymore. You can call our office at 213-302-3001. Thank you for joining us. Remember, Dr. Smith loves you and there's nothing you can do about it. Have a wonderful evening and amazing week. Enjoy.